Chicago Hockey Radio, alongside Justin Lynch, Lee Grassman, producer Raven Gasser. I'm Tassos Kirkos. Welcome to Chicago Hockey Radio, everybody. As always, hit the thumbs up button right there. Hit the subscribe button. Follow us on Instagram at Chicago Hockey Radio. Do all those fun things. If you're an audio listener, leave a 5-star rating on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I said YouTube on Sunday. I went back and listened to the post-game show, and I said Spotify and YouTube. Yeah, I meant Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So please leave a 5-star rating and review there. Subscribe to us on YouTube as well. But do all those fun things. It helps the show grow. It helps us continue to do what we're doing, of which we have a lot of fun stuff tonight, including our first live stream. Woo! Lee is live streaming the game.
Hell yeah.
Everyone up on your feet now. I need everyone up.
LFG.
Oh. Guys, it's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you. Sorry.
You asked us to get up on our feet, and then you didn't.
Yeah, everyone up. Everyone back at home on your feet. Yeah, I'm really pumped. Honestly, couldn't be doing it for a better game for the first stream. We got Hawks, Red Wings, Patrick Kane, Mr. Showtime, Alex DeBrincat are back. The Hawks have the chance to do the first 3-game win streak in over a season. Didn't happen a single time last year. So a lot at stake tonight. Should be a good game. Hope the stars come out and come watch me lose my mind on the live stream. Gonna have a lot of. I said this on the last episode. I'm gonna have a lot of action. Haven't quite decided the bets. I think I have to throw Blackhawks money line in there. Possibly a Patrick Kane shooting prop, point prop. We'll see. So come to the live. I'll give you some good juicy bets. Ride with me, fade me. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, ditto. I can't wait to see that. I think that's going to be absolute cinema. I think this whole nation is really bringing anticipation to see that. So we're looking forward to it. I think it's going to be huge. And I think the Hawks are going to, Red Wings are going to have an absolute cinematic game tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hawks first of a 2-game set back-to-back. They'll play Dallas tomorrow. I wonder when the Stars are going to get in town. The Stars don't play tonight, right? So you think the Stars are already in town tonight while
Probably,
the Hawks are playing Detroit?
There's a good chance. I don't know. I feel like sometimes also when they have like days off, they'll stay with their families for a bit.
Fly at night.
What is it? The Blackhawks playing Stars on back-to-backs? It's the second time this season we'll see that. So hopefully they can finish the job this time. But yeah, that's a tough back-to-back Red Wings on Stars. But no, I think tonight's a really winnable game. I mean, I said on the last pod. I mean, this Wings team just does not impress me that much. I know they're 5-5-1. They're mid. I mean, I know, and we're 5-7-1, so we're not that much worse. And honestly, I think on paper, I think the teams are pretty similar. Maybe a slight edge to them, a little more firepower up front, but I think we actually probably have more depth. We can make the argument. So I think this should be a close game. Should be a cinematic game in Bedsy Kaner. I think that's going to be a hell of a matchup. I think it might be a Kane Matthews 18-19 type season where we see him having kind of dual goal scoring, and hopefully it goes to overtime. And yeah, I mean, if Kaner has another OT game-winning goal at the United Center, man, that would be nuts. It's going to be hard to top that game from last year, but I think it's going to be a good one tonight.
You just want juice for the meme page. You just want.
Yeah, I mean, that's really, I want that too. I think Showtime's going to go off today. He's 2 goals, 6 assists, 11 games this season. A bit of a slow start for his standards, but you can't tell me he doesn't look at this game and, give him, that doesn't have him a little extra motivation tonight. I think you're going to see that he's going to shoot the puck a lot. He's going to be all over it tonight. DeBrincat too. I mean, that's easy to forget about his return to Chicago with Kaner, but he's back too. I think that connection's going to cook. I believe they're both on the top line tonight, which they should be. So yeah.
It's going to be DeBrincat, Kane, Larkin. So
yeah,
probably going to do some point parlays there.
The USA trio.
Just to hedge my inevitable Blackhawks money line, which is never a smart bet, but I've won a couple times. I bet that LA game, for some reason, I had a hunch that they were going to win. And then I bet on them. And then when we went down a goal, I bet more money on them to win. So that was a nice one.
Wow. Lee actually might be a master bettor. I owe you an apology. I wasn't familiar with your game.
I do this shit for real.
And that's a plug. Hey guys, you listen to this. You gotta listen to his live show today.
Yeah, please
Get
watch
those
the live
advice.
stream.
Get those
If you're
betting advice.
listening to this podcast right now, watch the live stream for
Yeah.
goodness sake. We're trying different content, and this is going to be really fun, I think, and is going to be even something that I think Lee can like develop into his own kind of thing as well. But
Yeah.
you know, like this is going to be like with us and for this show and for the Blackhawks and for this game, it's going to be like it's a perfect game for it.
Yeah.
We're covering literally everything. We got basically a pregame show right now. We got the live game, and then me and Tassos will be back at it with the post game. So we got everything covered today, everything possibly covered.
And especially if you guys are obviously going to be able to be watching me, hopefully my antics during the live stream will give you guys a little more to talk about in the post game. So I think it's going to be good and just all around for the show, for the viewer, for me. I'm really excited. I've been wanting to do this for a while. So yeah, we're not hyping it up for no reason. I think it's going to be a grand old time, and I'm going to do my best to be a really good commentator as well.
And our DMs are open always on Chicago Hockey Radio on that Instagram account. So as well as sending us your questions for Friday mailbag, be sure to also like send us things that if you enjoy that we're doing the live stream, if you want to see something visually different or you think we should be doing something better, or you want to hear us talk about a certain topic, like let us know. We're right there. So and some of you have not shied away from making yourselves known to us, so we appreciate you guys like that. That's always really cool. So but yeah, keep doing it. We're always taking questions, especially for Friday's show. So yeah,
very, very open to feedback, and we try to be as responsive as possible. Because we do not succeed unless we're putting out a product that you guys like and appreciate. So very important to us.
No, just super important to engage the community, right? I mean, answer people's questions. That's what people want to see for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna be going to games soon too, especially the month of December and the new year. And I'm trying to get these guys to go to the college games that are also at Wrigley. Penn State and Notre Dame is the first one on Friday, and then what's the second one? Ohio State, somebody the next night. Ohio State, Wisconsin is the second game.
That's a good.
So that should be a really good one. But there's a lot of fun hockey happening around the city too. So we're just trying to be a part of that community. All right, let's stick with this game a little bit though tonight. Same lineup as last time. For me,
Smart.
Yeah, I agree with that. For me though, I still look at Andreas Athanasiou on the outside looking in as a bit of maybe a missed opportunity to get the guy back in the lineup. You maybe basically keep the lineup the same, but is there a reason that a guy like
He's been out for a while now?
Yeah, like is there a reason maybe you don't sit a guy like Ilya Mikheyev tonight in favor of
Well, he's on the lead
What are
train.
you talking
Yeah.
original with that one?
Well, I mean,
you're completely right. You're
He hasn't
completely
sat yet. He's played every
They're
game.
both
and he
kind
has
of the same
one
guy.
goal.
They're both kind of the same guy. Mikheyev hasn't sat yet, and Athanasiou has, and they're both making the same $4 million. So
I think they're the same guy. Mikheyev is more defensive. Athanasiou is more offensive. Basically, they're both speedsters. Yeah.
Andreas Athanasiou, Teuvo Teravainen, Jason Dickinson as your third line. That's not bad.
No.
Like, why are we not like? I want to pull my hair out with this shit because it's like, how many times can we recommend maybe we sit Ilya Mikheyev for a game? And it's like,
or even sitting Pat Maroon.
He's got some dirt on Richardson.
Athanasiou.
One of those two. It's like Athanasiou cannot be out of this lineup over and over again when he's just simply good enough to be on this team. Like
He's
that
played
is
just 5 games this season. That's kind of wild.
How many points does he have?
I mean, he doesn't have a point in those 5 games.
Oh, he
but
does.
Still, it's not like he didn't look good in those games. I mean, the last game he played, he was the 2C, and you go from being the 2C to scratched like the last, it's been like 2 weeks now.
It's also hard to score when you're playing, one game every 3 and then getting thrown in the bottom of the lineup and only getting 10 minutes, like it's I would imagine it's not easy to score that way in the NHL. I don't know because I've never played in the league. But if I had to take a guess, that would be a difficult thing to do.
I would say a positive thing on the defensive front. I'm glad he's kept Brody out of the lineup. It's going to be his third straight game scratch, and deservedly so. I think the way Phillips played, there was no reason to take him out of the lineup. I think that defense has looked pretty good. It looked good in those 2 games last weekend. So I'm glad they kept that the same. I think that's a smart move as well. And then Peter gets back in the net after a little bit of rest against his former team. That hopefully he goes off today.
Yeah, we got the third D pairing of Nolan Allen, Isaac Phillips, and then Wyatt Kaiser playing on the first unit with Seth Jones. It'll be interesting to see kind of what they do with ice time with those pairings. I think we're going to see, the Nolan Allen, Isaac Phillips line probably not get many more minutes than 12 would probably be like betting line.
Ideally,
it's a young, inexperienced pair.
You'd like them over the 13, 14 minute mark.
I agree.
I think Nolan Allen's looked so good in these games. I mean, I wasn't sure how long if he'd stick up here, but in the way he's been playing, I think he's going to be on this team for this season, which is a bright spot, right? You want to see those young defensemen get take that shot, and he's been playing well. Yeah.
Agreed. Peter Mrazek getting the starting goal tonight. Surprising to any of you?
No, I mean, you could argue Sauerbrunn maybe the way he played last game actually could deserve, but they're not going to play him 2 consecutive games. He's not the starter, but Peter, get him in against his former team. I think he'll play well. I think he was playing really well, playing those 6 consecutive games. So yeah, I think we'll see a good game from him.
Do we know who's starting for the Wings?
I think Talbot, right?
Can look on DFO.
Yeah, Cam Talbot, I think.
Yeah.
Come on, DFO, but
none of us able to tiptoe yet is Cam Talbot.
Yeah, Talbot is going to be starting on Wednesday.
And to be fair, he has been pretty good for them. Like, he's kept them in some games they have no business being in. So pretty similar goaltenders, I'd say, at this point in their careers, Talbot, Mrazek. So yeah, we'll see. Should be an interesting matchup.
Pretty good.
Cam Talbot's a little bit of a better goalie than Peter Mrazek.
What are you going off of? Like, I'm sure we could look at
maybe slightly. I think they're pretty similar. I mean,
he was an all-star last season, and he had a couple of really good seasons in Edmonton, and
yeah, I think Mrazek had a really underappreciated season though. That team was so bad.
I bet you Cam Talbot has more wins and better career numbers.
Well, yeah, because Cam Talbot's 36 years old.
He's been on better teams, I think, too. Mrazek hasn't really been on a lot of good teams.
Mrazek was on the Hurricanes.
That's one. And he was on the Red Wings for all those years, and the Hawks, and yeah.
Yeah, no, I guess the Hawks was kind of where, to be honest with you, it was like the last stop at like a renaissance, maybe.
And he's taken advantage of it. I mean, Mrazek was, 2 years ago. I mean, the Hawks, the Leafs literally gave him up for nothing. So, and then he's made himself definitely resurrected his career.
But he was bad there.
Yeah, he was. I mean, Talbot, you're right. I mean, consistency wise, he's probably had the better. I'm saying right now, though, I think they're kind of maybe Talbot's slight edge, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Talbot just like moves around though on these like 1-year deals, and just like bounce. He did like both sides of the Battle of Alberta, and because he played for the Flames too, and
yeah, he's been everywhere, man.
Well, who else did he play for? The Wild.
Yeah,
played for the Kings last season. The Rangers he started his career with.
Yeah, I couldn't even name all of them. So much.
I want to say he was with the Flyers for a little bit. Does that sound right?
Really? I don't know about that.
I'm looking right now. He was New York, Edmonton, Flyers for 1 year.
You're right. I'm wrong.
Ottawa, then LA, now Detroit.
Ottawa. I forgot about Ottawa too.
What an interesting trajectory that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't have a very good save percentage in Ottawa.
Well, I don't know that anybody's going to have I don't know that Marty,
Well, you can say
is going to have
Peter Mrazek playing for this team last year.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Maybe.
You boys think Bedsy's going to hit Kaner again tonight? Or think Kaner's going to return the favor? We'll see. I think there might be a bit of a budding rivalry between those two.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I hope there's some fireworks. I hope it gets a little chippy. And yeah, I hope the top lines are kind of able to go back and forth and have some success. What I don't want to see is a 2-1 game. I'd like to see some goals. What's the over/under line? Let's see. If it's 5.5.
I think this is going to be a high-scoring game.
That's good.
Can I bring something up with you guys?
Sure.
Patrick Kane still wishes he was a Chicago Blackhawk, right?
Obviously.
Yeah. No, he wanted to come back. So that narrative that he wanted out, was just wrong. He was forced out. He was forced out.
He may say that he doesn't want to be one like now, or that he's over it, but I don't believe him.
I believe that maybe he's like somewhat over it now and is happy with how things are going in Detroit, and like happy to be there now. He's with DeBrincat and stuff, but I think initially he did not want to leave. He was kind of looking for any reason to stay, but I think Kyle Davidson really just kind of wanted to distance himself from the past team, and especially with the 2010 team and all that stuff. So
who worked for the team? You know who worked for the team in 2010?
Who's that?
Kyle Davidson.
He was an intern. He was an intern, but yeah, it's the one thing of Davidson's. Like I've agreed with most of the things he's done, but the way he handled Patrick Kane, it's not really the fact they traded him 23. It's the fact that he could have brought him back at free agency. That's what bothered me. I know Kane wanted to. That was an article by I think I remember who it was from. I think maybe Ben Pope or somebody like that. Who he basically stated he would have been down to returning to Blackhawks.
Yeah,
he never got that call. Yeah.
He said it would have been hard to refuse that, to retire Blackhawk. And he kind of did the same thing with Tays, if we're being honest. He kind of forced him out.
Yeah, his situation is a little different because you have the health stuff. Like, would he even still be playing? I don't know if he really wants to at this point. To be honest, I think he's done. Which it's so weird. Like he's been retired for over a year and he still haven't gotten like a an actual announcement about like his retirement. He just kind of left without. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah,
players are doing that now though.
Yeah, some players I guess they wait a year or a couple years. Yeah.
The Joe Thornton video. Hey, in case you guys didn't know, I'm retired. You remember that?
That was funny.
Yeah.
The best one was the Luongo one when he's like, I'm taking my talents to a South Beach retirement home. I like that guy. He's entertaining.
Yeah, he's the best. I was happy he won the Stanley Cup last year.
Yeah. I will say, I was listening to the CHGO guys, and one of them, who were named nameless, was ripping on Kaner. He was like, "Oh, this bum only has 2 goals in 11 games this season." So for all those Hawks fans whining about not bringing him back, I'm telling you, that's after hearing that, it's like Kane is going to go off tonight. I mean, I don't know how you can't see that, and I think the disrespect to a legend like that's pretty disappointing on there. I'm not going to lie, but I think Showtime's he's gonna show up today. He's going to be Mr. Hollywood. Yeah.
I don't know that Patrick Kane's listening to the CHGO guys.
Probably not, but I mean, I don't know. I think he has all the way.
Still putting the vibe out there. It's still putting the negative, slanderous vibe.
And I will never slander my boy. Like I hope they win. I hope Betsy shows him up. Like I want Connor to really put a stamp on this game. Like I hope it's like that Oilers game where it's like he circles matchups, right? And he sees Kaner, he knows the legend he is to this franchise. And I hope he kind of puts a stamp like this is his city now. This is his team. So I hope he has a great game. I think he's due for some goals. It's been a while. He's been getting apples, but I think hopefully he shoots the puck more and hopefully he'll find the back of the net. He's been a little unlucky to start this season.
How much money is Patrick Kane getting paid?
I think $4 million.
So the same amount as Andreas Athanasiou, who is scratched tonight.
Wow.
Just like that CHGO guy. Really? You didn't like, even though he's only got 2 goals? Really?
Yeah, 6 assists.
We have a guy that's been scratched for a majority of the games, making the same amount. You're telling me you wouldn't want Patrick Kane still playing here? Get the out. Come on. Let's be real.
Yeah, that is kind of silly. That's what that was my whole argument about the Hawks needing to like upgrade the roster. It's not like they're not like spending money. There's, they're putting all this money into these guys that aren't great, but we don't need to dredge that up again.
Yeah, I don't know how many times we can say that Ilya Mikheyev needs to be scratched on the show. We just sound like a broken record.
We've all said it. We've all been in agreement. I mean, we haven't all been in agreement on everything. Normally it was like, one of us is kind of having the opposite opinion, but we're all in agreement there. Yeah.
I have a couple of things that may not be popular here, but I'll say it and then we'll talk about Dallas a little bit.
Okay.
On that front to like maybe, did Nick Foligno really need $4.5 million?
Well, it's almost like they gave him that knowing that he'd be the next captain. Do you get that feeling? I know they didn't. They probably didn't, they'll say they didn't know it then, but he kind of took over that role that season and thought maybe that's why.
And also, he did have a pretty good year last year, like point wise.
Yeah, it's 37 points.
Wasn't he kind of earlier in like as far as those contracts that got signed? He was one of the first ones, right?
It was him. Then it was Dickinson. That was Peter. They're all kind of
so league. It's like you're trying to make sure you're above the cap floor, and This is a guy who's, clearly been a big leader in the room.
It's 2 years too. I mean,
You need to pay somebody, so why not pay that guy? And
is it a little more than he's worth? Yes, but it's not just what he's doing on ice; it's what he's doing off ice. There's that.
And you're able to afford that because you have, also have a ton of prospects that are on ELC. So what?
No. Sorry, my headphones were jacked. So, but they're good now. Sorry.
Okay, I thought you had a counterpoint cooking there.
No.
Okay.
I was in and out for half of that with the headphone situation.
Okay, fair enough.
You want to give me the spark notes?
Did you have another little thing that was going to ruffle some feathers?
No, I didn't hear what your response was to what I said. I didn't hear really much of what you said. Is what I.
Oh, I was just saying that Nick Foligno was like one of the first people to sign one of those contracts. So it's like they kind of had money to give out.
But didn't they also sign like 2 other guys to those kind of?
Yeah, Peter and Dickinson.
Yeah.
So afterwards, though, so it's like you have to reach that cap floor. You got to pay somebody.
You couldn't have done that with better players.
Well, so I mean, Nick Foligno was obviously a big part of the leadership in the room last year.
Okay, then take $1 million.
He had a decent season point wise. Like I don't think they thought they were gonna like go and add that much better players, and they're still they're still under the cap. So it's
they still have like $6 million in space, and most of these contracts come out the books anyway. So this won't even be a problem after this next offseason.
That's like keeping us from like I don't know.
Yeah, I'm in agreement.
Doing anything.
All right, let's talk about the Dallas Stars and the game tomorrow too, because the Hawks have a back-to-back, and we will have the post-game show tonight. But this is our time right now to talk a little bit about Hawks versus Stars. So, second time, you said it already, Justin. Second time the Hawks are playing the Stars on a second half of back-to-back. That's why I think the Mrazek start is a little bit of a, you can tell Richardson's a guy who is like the Mike Babcock school of starter plays first game, backup plays second game, no matter what. Whereas like the old school or like the new school of I'm going to play my better goalie against the better team, no matter which day it is. Right. I don't know.
Yeah. It's like look at the matchups more. Yeah. You could argue that. And Peter probably gave us a better chance against Dallas. But having that said that though, I mean, Soderblom's been so solid the 3 games he's played where it's like, I don't know. It's always, I think it's almost a good thing to kind of give him that trust, right? See what he could do against a better team. But yeah, that's gonna be a tough one against the Stars. But I think it's one the Hawks can win. Though. I mean, the Stars are 7-4-0. They haven't been perfect lately. And I think the Hawks. I mean, you win tonight, you win Dallas. All of a sudden, you're 500. I mean, it's a big if, right? But you want to come away with at least one win here in this back-to-back. And Stars might be. I don't think it's a scheduled loss. I don't think it is. I said that in the first back-to-back, but I'm not going to say it for this one. The way this team's playing now, I think they can. They think they can win it for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting. Dallas Stars, it's kind of like sitting around waiting to see when kind of like their top guys are really going to start turning it on and being elite. Matt Duchene, their highest point scorer thus far into the season, which I guess probably didn't have on my bingo card. But that's kind of the thing about this Dallas Stars team is they've just got so many guys that they can get production from. They've got 3 legit lines. Like, so, yeah.
Their third line's better than some teams' first lines.
Yeah, no, quite literally. Such a deep team, deep roster. Yeah, I mean, they have Robertson and Johnston on their third line, which is insane. That's a third line. Like that's what I'm saying. Like that's how you build a Stanley Cup team is you have that much depth that you can have stars on your third line.
Like three rolling like skilled lines, then a 4th line kind of grinding situation, kind of energy line. Yeah.
And Tyler Sagan's injured too, and it's like they still have, a loaded enough roster. Just depth everywhere. Perfect mix of young talent, old players. So it'll be a tough game. Hopefully we can get one back on them at home. I do think that sometimes, especially at home, when you have back-to-back home games, I think that can sometimes work really well in your favor,
especially for the Hawks, because they've just had 5 straight. They've just come back from a long road trip, like 5 straight games in a road. I think this will be a big energy boost. And they were 1-3 in the initial homestand. If you want to make up for that, right? So come away with 2 wins, you get 500 at home. I think that'd be big for sure, motivation wise.
Justin, would you rather win tonight or tomorrow?
Oh, tonight, 100%. I want to beat the Wings. Detroit sucks. Let's get that rivalry back. It's hard when we're in different conferences. We want to play them twice a year, but it's still an original six OG matchup. Kane or Bedsy. I will say this: if Kane wins an OT again, I'd actually be happy to see that. I mean, I say that bittersweet would be the right word, not happy, but yeah, I'd rather win today.
I'd be pumped. If he's able to do it again, that would be.
I wouldn't complain. I would not complain. I think the arena would cheer again. I wonder if he's going to get another video. I know they already gave him the tribute video last time, but maybe he'll get something. He's going to get cheers and stuff. With everything. So every time he has a puck on his stick. So looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah. Do you remember that? I'm trying to remember what season it was. It had to have been early on. It might have been like 2012 or something. But it was after he had those allegations. Every single opposing arena that he played in.
It was 2015.
Okay, 2015. Was on his stick. It was just booze everywhere.
And that was his best season. He won the Hart, the Lindsay, the Art Ross.
He played so much better. It was just a chip on his shoulder. That was
26 game point streak. Kane that season with Panarin. That was absolute cinema. That was also the year he had that insane goal in the playoffs against the Blues. They got eliminated the first round, but that might be my favorite Kaner goal. That game 6 OT winner.
That was the wraparound.
The wraparound. Yeah, and he did which Betsy's copied that Selly, by the way. The little point. Yeah, Betsy's copied a few Kane Sellys. He's copied his Heartbreaker. Yeah.
I had one of my good friends who is now a sports gambling fiend. He was pretty big on the Blackhawks back then. And he texted me before that game, Patrick Kane double overtime. And it happened.
Wow. Lisan Al-Gaib.
Yeah, that was insane. I always think back on that game. So I'm like, damn, dude, if he put $5 on Patrick Kane double overtime winner, he would have won a lot of money. But yeah, legend. It's going to be exciting to see him back in the UC, obviously.
Oh, I'm so pumped for this game, man. This is the type of matchup you're excited for every hockey game, but this one's this is just history. This is cinema. I'm so excited for this one. I think it's gonna be a great game. TNT too, Wednesday night, so that should be interesting coverage for sure. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think Tassos and I kind of flirted with the idea of possibly going to this game, but I'm so pumped for the live stream. I think
better to live stream it.
Yeah. So again, sorry not to beat that into the ground, but it's going to be a fun time. And it's going to be a good game tonight.
Hey, did you know we're doing a live stream tonight?
Guys, by the way, live stream tonight. Can I get a score prediction from Justin for tonight versus the Wings?
Ooh, oh boy. I think it's going to be a high scoring affair, which I hope it is. It's mostly my heart saying that, but I will say a 5-4 overtime win. And I would say Connor Bedard answers. He gets the overtime winner. Makes up for that one he missed against the Kings. Second career OT winner. The United Center goes absolutely ballistic. He puts his stamp on this city and takes over as the new leader of the Chicago Blackhawks and owns Patrick Kane.
I'd be all for that. A 5-4 overtime win.
That is a heart prediction. That is not a brain prediction. It's probably going to be Red Wings and Kane is going to go off, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll say, gosh, do I think this game's going over? I'm worried that we have a little bit of those Andy Francis clenched ass cheeks in this game that it means more so guys don't want to make mistakes and play a little tighter. But I would love to see a 4-3. I'll go 4-3 Blackhawks.
Regulation, overtime?
I'll say regulation.
Okay.
I'll say 4-2 Blackhawks.
4-2 Blackhawks?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't think the Hawks will play it because the Wings defense is just so easy to expose. I think they're going to have a more aggressive style play because of that, to expose that. Yeah.
All right.
I hope you're
right. Live stream tonight, post game tomorrow, show again on Friday, and post game tomorrow post game tonight after the game, post game tomorrow after the game, and podcast Friday. Sorry, was that right? All right.
Yes.
A lot of content. So stick around for it. All right, we're gonna take the quickest of breaks, and we'll be back with NHLR Chicago Hockey Radio. A little preview: Connor McDavid playing tonight against the Vegas Golden Knights. Keep it here on the other side. All right, NHL Hour, Chicago Hockey Radio. Justin, Lee, Tassos, Raven. Another day, another Wednesday, fellas. But we are pushing through, and we talked about it, Hawks Hour, how exciting of a day this is for us. But, man, it's going to be fun. But NHL Hour, Chicago Hockey Radio. Connor McDavid playing tonight against the Vegas Golden Knights for the Edmonton Oilers. The timeline was 2 to 3 weeks. It ended up being 10 days for the great 97. Defies human logic, always continues to.
Doesn't surprise you that McJesus healed up quicker. That's big for the Oilers, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That should be a good game. I said today on Good Morning Hockey, which, by the way, people have been redirected to from here. So shout out that, first of all. Anybody that's going and listening to the morning show from this show is a beauty. So thank you.
And you should absolutely listen to the Friday show because I will be on that.
Yes, Justin will be on Friday. So, and we had Andy Francis on, Lee's favorite YouTuber today, and some good guests yesterday, good guests the rest of the week. So, yeah, so check that out. But the games yesterday were there were 11 of them, and they all were kind of duds. And
I don't know, boys. There was one really big game, a huge matchup in this country. Is the San Jose Sharks defeat the Columbus Blue Jackets 2-1 in overtime. The nation was stunned by this insane game.
For a 2-1 game between those two teams, that was honestly probably one of the more competitive hockey games of the night.
It was. That was a great game. The Jackets have 50 shots on goal.
Yeah.
50. You rarely see that.
Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, if the Jackets get that, or not the Jackets, if the Sharks get that kind of goaltending more often, they win more hockey games. But I think just getting Sabrina back in the lineup, I know he didn't do anything, but that was definitely a big boon for them too. I mean, he was out for a month, so good to see him back. Hopefully, he stays healthy, and that Sharks team reel off more wins. Yeah,
man, we really started Sharks Blue Jackets, huh?
Yeah, let's start off with the best one, right?
The
Philadelphia, the worst team in the league.
They look brutal right now. They look brutal.
Oh yeah, they are. They're literally dead last with the Predators. Wow.
Nashville's low down there too.
Yeah,
clock's ticking.
We're 26, so I don't know. We're already exceeding expectations. The Wings are 24. This is a pretty even matchup between us. But yeah, I mean, the Predators are still down there, so I mean, that's interesting. That's very interesting.
Any teams kind of on the bottom half of the league that you guys think are gonna turn it around?
Bottom half of the league.
Let's see bottom third.
Well, the bottom third. Oh boy.
But don't give me Edmonton Oilers. Like,
the Oilers aren't in the bottom third. The Oilers are in 16th right now in the NHL.
That's why.
Oh, don't.
Not bottom half.
Okay.
Bottom
all right.
Third.
I don't know.
None of these teams.
None of them stand out for me. Honestly. Us. No, I'm just kidding.
No, the Blackhawks, honestly, that's the team. I mean, obviously I want to see do the best, but for the purposes of this show.
Advanced analytics person, but like the Hawks have actually kind of been underperforming the way they should be. Like the advanced analytics suggests this should be like a middle of the pack team right now, actually. So I don't know, maybe the Hawks do have a bit of a run coming.
That's why I've said go get another player.
Not to turn this into Blackhawks hour during NHL.
No, I know.
Yeah.
So the games last night weren't very good. I don't know what it was, but there were some lopsided scores. There were some teams that were no shows last night, and all three games, there's 3 games tonight, so less than a third, almost a fourth of the games, quantity wise, but quality wise, it actually the matchups look exciting and enticing. And I know Hawks Red Wings isn't the best game on paper, but everything else around it with the Patrick Kane stuff we talked about already, that just builds up more to this game than Flyers Hurricanes, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. And they also got McDavid returning, so I think 2 really good games there. The Predators Capitals, now that's maybe the one that's it's like that 3 Dragons meme. It's like you got 2 really hot dragons, then you got the one who's kind of it's not that good. So, but otherwise, I think you got 2 really good matchups today. Yeah.
Tassos is about to tell you why you should be really pumped about this Predators Capitals
matchup.
Well,
I don't know. Andy Francis was pretty pumped about it this morning. He was just saying that you should take Nashville because, Washington's been so he thinks they've been playing above their head, and maybe they have been a little bit.
He's the biggest Capitals slanderer I know.
Dylan Strome's up there, right? He's like what, top 10 in points right now.
Yeah. But the Capitals have been really good, and the Predators have been really bad. I don't know if you guys saw the Barry Trotz quote that he gave on Nashville radio hit today or yesterday, but he said that he's going to start looking into the rebuild plan if things don't turn around soon.
He's saying that in November after all those. You just signed Steven Stamkos, March or so, all these guys in 1 month of the season. You're saying that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I think it's pretty wild that. Yeah. So yes, I think that game means something. I do think that those 2 points mean something to both of those teams right now. I'm sure if you're the Capitals, you'd love to run Nashville into the ground, and if you're Nashville, you'd like to show that you're probably a bit better than your record has been. So, and that you still have some life in you because you asked me to look at the bottom third, and it's Colorado, it's Boston, it's Nashville that are the teams that have the chance that people would have thought would be in the mix, and they're not, and they look bad for different reasons, right? So I don't know. You would think that Nashville might be the most poised of those three teams. Like I think Boston's really on a downward spiral here. Like they didn't look good yesterday against the Leafs at all.
Yeah, they're cooked.
Colorado has the more elite players than Nashville, but it just feels like they are missing a few pieces.
Also have Ivan.
The roster's just so depleted right now. I mean, there's like what, three NHL caliber players in that offense right now. So I mean, get guys back from injuries, maybe they can get back in it, but I don't know. It might be a bit tricky this year.
Yeah, so it might be Nashville that has the best chance out of the bottom third of the league right now to get back into it.
Yeah, Nashville, I was worried about that at the start of the season. It's like this roster is almost a little too thrown together. It's like when you get stars kind of all come into one team, it doesn't at the same time, it doesn't always work right away. So I think they need to, find the line combinations that work, and these guys kind of need to get going because, Marchessault has done basically nothing. And we kind of knew coming into that Stamkos wasn't the best 5-on-5, and you see it with Tampa, like that top line has been able to produce like at a similar rate, but they're not doing it on the power play. They're doing it in 5-on-5.
Brandon Hagel has had himself a season, Blackhawks legend. But yeah, without Kucherov feeding him those 1-Ts, Stamkos maybe struggling a little bit more. Yeah.
That's why I asked you guys on Monday if you guys would redo the Brandon Hagel trade.
I still stand by what I said, but he has looked good there, I will say. Really good.
Yeah. I don't know.
Crosby's close in at 600 goals. He has, 598 now? Yeah.
Oh, is he only 2 away now?
I think so, because he had one last night. I think that he was at 597, now 598. So
they play the Hurricanes tomorrow.
Yeah, you could get in that game. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
He was playing with Evgeny Malkin a little bit. That's always fun to watch. They haven't done that a lot in a long time, and that's always really cool when those two guys play together as opposed to on separate lines.
Yeah, it was kind of a similar situation with the Blackhawks. Kane and Taves would always be separate, but sometimes you present that nuclear option. The Pens still have that. Those two players who both playing really well. I mean, they're defying the aging process, definitely aging like a fine wine. So good to see that, but there's not much on that team to get excited for outside of that.
That's another team that's done like a lot of line juggling and kind of trying to figure out what's going to work and what's not. Last time I checked, Michael Bunting had went from the second line all the way down to the fourth line. And they just weren't really getting much scoring from anybody else outside of those two. So kind of how I thought they were going to be at the beginning of the year. Did not have much faith in them to make the playoffs just because, I mean, when your top end talent, even though they're still producing, is like you can't lean on those guys for an 82 game season, like to get over the hump. Like, yeah, they might still produce, but are they going to be able to win you enough games to be able to make the playoffs? I just don't know.
What else catching your guys' eye tomorrow? Kings Canucks looks like it could be a really good one. Jets are 12-1. That was a big win over Utah yesterday, 3-0. Connor Hellebuck shutout. He's been really good, but they play him way too much. They take on the Avs. Blackhawks we already talked about, second half of the back-to-back against the Stars. Sabres, Rangers should be a pretty good one, in my opinion. I think those two teams always bring it against one another. in-state
Yeah.
rivals. You also got Calgary and Boston. I don't know. What are you guys looking at?
I would say maybe, did you say Utah Blues?
I did not. No.
I would say that one stands out. I mean, Utah's been so up and down this season. Same with the Blues. I feel like both the teams are in very similar situations right now, kind of stuck in mid. But I think that could be a pretty interesting one for sure. I don't really know about any of these teams right now, like what to make of them, like if they're playoff teams or not. But both Central Division teams, I think they're both just in remarkably similar spots right now. I don't know what to think of them. Yeah.
Did we talk about the point system on here on Monday?
The point system.
No. Okay. So I guess by that, that means no. I've been saying on the morning show yesterday and Monday that the NHL should go to a 3-2-1 0-point system. 3 wins for a regulation win, 2 for an overtime win, 1 for an overtime or shootout loss.
International
0
style.
Yeah. And I think, this is Gary Bettman's world of parity in the National Hockey League, and we are living in it. And you can look at the standings and it shows that. But if you it doesn't need to reflect itself in the standings. Like, that's what really enrages me about the NBA. I mean, I think the NBA is too top heavy as it is. I think if you look at the standings of the NBA, it's kind of a joke that especially look right now, 3 seeds have 500 records. I mean, 3 seeds in conferences have 500 records because everybody's not great. And I don't know. But I think it would do a good job of distinguishing, or at least helping a little bit, right? Because, some teams are mid and some teams are bad and some teams are good. And, maybe some teams are picking up more wins in regulation and we're not really getting that full picture, right? When we look at these standings, I wonder how the standings would look right now in a 3-2-1 point system.
It's tough. I probably doesn't love the extra points and stuff, extra point for overtime, because I don't think if you lose the game, I don't think you should be getting benefits from that. But at the same time, it's it does breed more parity, and this 3-2-1 system would probably breed even more of that. So NHL has done a good job with that and kind of distinguishing itself from the NBA from that regard. So it's an interesting dilemma. But I will say I've never been a fan of the point. You lose a game, you shouldn't get anything from that.
True.
My suggestion would be to not even do the 3-2-1. Do it like soccer. It should be a 3-1. There's no 2. It's you get a point for an overtime loss or a shootout loss, and then you get 2 more points if you win. I don't think that it should just be a 1-point differential for losing a game.
Yeah, but I think it should be there should be some sort of reward for winning it in 60 minutes.
Yeah,
that's yes.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
It's effectively a tie when it goes, it goes to overtime.
True. Okay, I see your point. I'm with that. Yeah, it should be. You should have to try to win it in regulation.
Imagine if a team. I thought we talked about this on here. I might be wrong.
No, you're tripping. We did not.
But imagine if a team.
Tripping.
We've just been doing a lot of podcasting around here. Imagine if a team is 2 points out of the playoffs and they're in a game game 82 and it's tied late and they need 3 points and they can't get 2. They'll pull their goalie with 2 minutes left in a tie game, right? And risk losing it and getting 0 because they need 3. I think you'll get some cool stuff like that.
This situation annoyed me if the Islanders last season, they barely, I don't even think they won 40 games. They had how many overtime losses they have? 15, 16, they make the playoffs like that. That didn't sit right with me. I think it promotes some teams kind of sitting back in the third period just to get to overtime. I've never been a fan of that. But yeah, anyway, that's all I got today. I got to head to my 125 or 130. So, but I will see you guys on the post game show and enjoy that live show tonight. I think that's going to be great.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Talk to you later.
See ya. Adios.
So this 3-2-1, can you say it again? So it's 3 points for regulation win.
2 for an overtime or shootout win.
Okay.
1 for loss, 0 for a regulation loss.
I think I like that.
Right?
I think I'm with you on that.
All right.
How would that not make the league immediately better?
No, it would. It would. I really think it would. All right. Do you have anything else you wanted to talk about today?
Honestly, not really. I feel like we've covered so much and we've got a lot of content coming for the rest of the day. So, I don't really have much.
Yeah, there's a lot of content today, so it's not
to talk for the sake of it.
Don't fret if you are wondering why today is such a short episode of Chicago Hockey Radio. It's because today's a very busy day around here. We have a lot of other content. Like I said, we had the morning show today. We had this show. We have the live stream we're prepping for tonight with Lee for the game, and then the post-game show right after that. So you will have plenty of opportunity to hear from us if that is what you so choose. Just be sure you hit the subscribe button and the follow button on your Spotify or Apple Podcast page, and then you will be able to for the rest of the day. We're not going to post the audio though for the live stream. We're just that you'll only be able to find on YouTube. But
I wear a suit for the live stream tonight.
I don't know. You could. That might be pretty fun.
That would be pretty fun, right?
That would be pretty fun.
Take a shave, put on a suit.
Yeah.
Get really pumped for this game.
You should wear a jersey if not.
Yeah. No, I think I'll wear a suit.
Yeah, all right. He's coming suited up. All right. I love that. All right. We're going to cut it there. Thanks to Raven. Thanks to Justin. Lee, you're the dog. We'll be back on Friday, but you will hear from us well before then. Post game tonight, post game tomorrow. Lee live stream during the Detroit game. So be on the lookout for that, all on the Chicago Hockey Radio YouTube channel. Thanks to everybody who's supported us along the way. We will be back to you Friday.
See you guys in a couple hours.